Hello class, I wanted to create a video about the child abuse presentation that is due in week 5. So you can find the information on this in the course information page or on the week 5 page. But for purpose of this announcement, I'm going to the course information page. You'll scroll to the very bottom, and first I'm going to look at the assignment and then we can look at the rubric. So click on the assignments tab and we'll click on this PDF. So the PDF talks about this assignment. It's due at the end of week 5, but it's important to work on it during the first 5 weeks, especially as you are doing the child abuse training that is due at the end of week 2. You're going to find different elements that are useful as you're completing that training for this presentation. So to create a presentation covering how to identify and report child abuse and neglect. So you need to have citations, definitions, and make sure to have a few scenarios to help individuals identify abuse and whether they need to report. There's different options that you can use for creating the presentation. You can use a PowerPoint, you can use Screencast-O-Matic or Powtoons, you can use Prezi. So you get to decide what application you want to use, but all presentation must include audio. If you have a question about another program to use, let me know. Some folks in the past have done Screencast-O-Matic as I'm doing now. They went through a PowerPoint and just narrated it. That's fine. Or some folks have utilized PowerPoint and utilized the narration feature and completed it that way. So the main thing is that it needs to be audio throughout your presentation. You need to think about a target audience. So who's going to be listening to your presentation? It could be preschool teachers, high school teachers, caseworkers, coaches. So think about who the audience is going to be who work with children. And then the second part is then the lecture on child abuse reporting through your presentation. So cover one type of abuse. It could be emotional or psychological, physical abuse, child neglect, or sexual abuse. So you just need to cover one. And then include the indicators of the abuse, when, how, and to whom you should report to in your state. Make sure you identify what state you're in, and then include at least 2 scenarios so that your audience can practice. It's important as you are including these scenarios that you might have different questions that you're asking and then to give the answers to. And the last slide should be, or the last thing that we see, your references. Don't cram a lot of information in the presentation on the slides. You're able to talk, so you can have certain things on the slides and talk through the rest of it. But then also make sure that it's not so little information that it's too generic and that it's not helpful. Look through some of these pointers, grammar check, spell check, make sure that it looks visually pleasing, make sure the graphics are appropriate, interesting to look at, make sure the background's not too busy. Do not plagiarize, cite your sources, and look at the rubric. So it's important through presentations that you're just not reading off the slide, that you're able to utilize the slides for a guide, but use your own words. And here's how the presentation is going to be graded. Note here that if you do not have audio, you're going to lose 15 points automatically. So that's what basically the presentation is going to be about. If we go back here to course information again, and if we go under the rubric section, you will find the rubric right here for the child presentation. So you can look through each of these areas and what you need to do in order to earn the highest score for the presentation. Again, if we go to week 5, you will find in the assignment section, that's where you're going to be submitting your PowerPoint. So you just click on this link. If it goes to it, and this is where you're going to submit it. Browse my computer, attach it, however you need to submit it, and submit it. So you can find the course directions and the rubric on the course information page, or as we just saw, if you go to week 5, you can also find the instructions. You can also find the instructions within the assignment folder. It's taking a little while to load up, but you can find them also in the assignment folder located down here. There's 2 different PDFs that I shared with you earlier in the course information page. So let me know if you have any sort of questions, comments, and have any concerns. But I hope this is helpful.